Kevin, get your butthole out of the shot. I don't get it.
Hi friends! Welcome! My name is Baron, and this is my channel where I talk about some book stuff. I'm the Book Baron. Welcome in. So, I forgot to film an intro for this video, so this is me from the future of this vlog, but the past for you. Time is a flat circle. I'm reading some Mafia Romances for you, and the first one that I will be reading is The Hitman by Katrina Jackson. Then I will be following that up with Broken Whispers by Neva Altaj, question mark on the pronunciation. If anyone knows, please correct me if I'm not saying that right. And then the last one is Control Me by Michelle Hurd. I will just warn you, if you really love any of these books, like really love them, maybe don't watch this video. Not to spoil anything, but this vlog does not go as well as I had hoped. Also, the horrific sound. I'm so sorry. I'm returning that mic. It's so bad. I hope you enjoy the vlog footage. And without further ado, let's see what Past Me has to say about these books. All right. Back to it.
Hi, good morning. So I am testing out a new mic for this, so let me know if the audio quality is okay in the comments. I'm trying to get more consistency in the audio quality of these clips because the last vlog I felt like it was very variable, so hopefully this helps improve it. But hold on. Coffee first. So I just started The Hitman. This is the first book I'm going to read for this vlog, and it is about Zara, who finds out on her wedding day that her husband, ex-fiance, I guess now, whatever, you know who I'm talking about, has been cheating on her with her best friend and maid of honor and also a stripper. She ends up finding out via television. Someone has caught them and released it to the media, and then they're also filming a reality TV show, so she's having her live reaction filmed. She doesn't respond well to this. She goes and punches now ex-fiance in the face, grabs his credit card, and decides to go on the honeymoon herself to Italy. That's what this is about. I'm going to spend most of the morning reading. You're probably going to get a couple clips here because this book is not terribly long and I'm planning to sit and read for quite a bit. I will update you when I have something of consequence to say. See you in a bit. I'm about 80 pages into this bad boy now. I'm reading a physical copy, so it feels weird to say page numbers, but what to say? This is leaning pretty hard into horny pants feelings. Now, you may be asking yourself, Baron, what are horny pants feelings? So I will define the term for you here. These characters not only are finding each other physically attractive, which I think is great, but they are also having a physical response, shall we say, and that's getting a lot of airtime. Much more airtime than I would like. That's all I'm talking about. All right, back to what I was saying. On both sides. So I'm not super loving that. I realized in the intro clip I didn't tell you about Giulio, who is the Italian mafia guy that's also the love interest. So basically they run into each other because they're in suites next to each other in this like villa hotel resort place in Italy. He's there because he just wants a break from the hitman life, hence the title, and she's crying and he can hear it through the walls and it's kind of killing his vibe. But they keep running into each other, not realizing that they are neighbors, but the interactions are boring because they just keep going, oh my god, horny pants feelings, horny pants feelings. So I'm just kind of like, okay, great, can you guys like maybe talk to each other? I mean, I'm like a quarter of the way through the book, so I'm not really liking their interactions. The hero specifically, I am just not really loving. He's just like, I'm here to drown myself in lady tacos. I'm just kind of like, okay, cool, but like, do you have a personality of any kind? That would be cool if you could like whip that out at some point instead of talking about your wiener. So there's that. Actually, at one point, Zara is staring at his butt while he's doing laps and she's just like, I've never gotten all hot and bothered by my ex's butt. And I'm like, cool, but like that doesn't really mean anything. I don't know. I'm hoping it'll improve because they just haven't had a ton of interactions. Oh, and one thing that I was like, what? And it's a detail I need to fill you in on. So the ex-fiance is an action star. I really loved it because her family was like, oh, you are way better than him. Like, for all intents and purposes, if you brought like Tom Cruise home, all right, I'm fired. Tom Cruise, that's who I thought of for a sexy action hero? Fired. Fired! Like most people would be like, oh my god, what a catch, right? I mean, not if it's freaking Tom Cruise. I'm sorry, I can't let it go. Her family was like, you can do better, which I kind of loved. But that aside, thing that I found like super unrealistic, he booked a hotel under his name. One, That's assuming that his acting name and his actual name are the same, right? Most actors have a stage name. So I was like, for two, they don't book stuff under their real names or their stage names. They usually have some code name. So my sister-in-law, she worked on a cruise line that was like basically only served millionaires and billionaires, like very, very high end. She said that they had a very famous singer on there and they could not acknowledge that it was this person at all. She was booked under a different name. I'm just saying, I don't find that realistic and it's really bugging me anyway. So far it's not going super great, which is unfortunate because I do own this physical copy and this cover is really gorgeous. It's also kind of taking a while because like I didn't tell you everything that's technically in the blurb. And I think we might just be getting to that part now that things kind of start like taking off finally. But again, this isn't a very long book and it took us that long to get through the blurb. I found myself just like this much bored. I kind of know what's going to be coming next. So it's not exciting. I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. So anyways, I've rambled long enough. I'm going to keep reading. I really hope this turns around. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Hi. Oh, that lighting's weird. I just got up to re-up my coffee and I thought I'd give you an update because I'm about halfway through. So the horniness, it doth continue. Yeah, a lot of wiener twitching, a lot of weird moaning for no reason. At one point, he says her toes look nice, and Zara's like moaning. And I'm just kind of like, ma'am, what is happening to you? Like, I don't get it. She also is like, can this car ride be erotic? And I'm like, I mean, it can, but also nothing's happening. So I'm gonna go with no. Right now, I'm just not finding either of the characters very compelling or interesting because Zara is pretty much sad and horny. Sometimes funny. She does say some funny stuff. Like at one point she's like, I'm about to die next to some old ass grapes. That's funny. So she's at least entertaining. Half a point for her for that. But Giulio, wow, not on board with him. He is so boring. He is just like, I'm a bad guy and horny. Here's my guns. I'm like, any hobbies besides murder? Like just one would be cool. I'm hoping though, because the plot has kicked off now, that the second half will be more interesting and a little bit more action packed and I can get out of these characters' heads. I would really like a reprieve from that. I'm tired of it right now. Oh, no one in her family has checked on her. And that would give her a different way to process her grief other than like in the bottom of a bottle, because that's what we've gotten so far. She just keeps drinking, crying, going to the pool, having a horny interaction with Giulio. It's very repetitive. If you can't tell, I'm a little sensitive to repetition in books. I have a feeling if I put this book down, I'm not going to want to pick it back up. I'm going to continue reading this book. All right, bye. Hi. So I didn't get much farther in at this point, but I don't think I'm going to be able to update you again or even get much more reading done. One thing that I did want to note about Zara's internal monologue that I'm noticing is getting repetitive is she is comparing everything that Giulio does to her ex. While I think that's a natural inclination, it might make a lot of sense, especially because it didn't end well and you want something different. It's on everything, including Giulio's chest hair, because Matt would never. The other thing, they just unlocked one of my fears. As a frequent public transit user, I am terrified and grossed out about what has happened on the seat that I'm sitting on prior to me being there. And these two just went to Pound Town on public transit, and I'm really grossed out. No points for Gryffindor. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, Kevin, get your butthole out of the shot. I'm probably not going to be able to update you. Kevin. Kevin says hi, by the way. I will see you tomorrow. Hi. So I decided to just finish up the Hitman because I felt like I was complaining about it a lot. And I was like, that's not very fun. Also, it just doesn't feel good to like continuously just hate on a book like that. And the truth of the matter is that this isn't a book that I hate. I feel very neutral about it because this felt like it should have been a novella. It didn't quite have enough plot or enough like going on. I felt like to justify the length of this book, this takes place over the course of maybe 5 days. Well, I mean, there was room for plot, but we just spent a lot of time like hanging out at a resort. Them banging is not enough for me to be interested in the book. There were attempts made to make things go deeper, but I felt like the knowledge that they revealed in those little sessions wasn't enough to really like make it emotional because we already knew that information about these characters. So like it wasn't a reveal for us. I was like, yeah, we've been talking about that for a bit. Like, yeah, we know. But I continued to like Zara. Zara's character I felt like really improved throughout the book. She got a lot funnier. At one point, she straight up like a 50s style housewife is like, baby, you forgot your gun. And I liked that Zara really took charge of her life. She's an active participant. She makes decisions. Even if Julio tries to make different ones, she says, no dice, man. I will say I did like that this book at least acknowledged that this was taking over a short period of time. Zara even at one point calls it out and was like, hey, we actually need to be able to spend like 24 hours without being interrupted by someone before like we're together. But I am interested in continuing this. The book is definitely like happy for now is how things are kind of left. I think a lot of people will like that book. Definitely a me thing. Like that's just like not my taste. So I'm gonna go with the 3-star because I don't think it was bad. It did just like this much more plot and like this much less banging. Moving along, I have moved on to Broken Whispers by Neva Altaj. I'm always terrified of J's in people's names because of the 3 languages that I am familiar with. J's all pronounced different. Hopefully I got that right. This is an arranged marriage mafia tale. So the Baretta and the Cosa Nostra have been at war for a little bit. In order to mend broken fences, they're doing an arranged marriage between Papo's second oldest daughter and like the right-hand man to the Baretta leaders, I think, something like that. What I've read so far, which is a fair amount, I accidentally breezed through like about 40% of this book. I know. So Mikhail actually really likes Bianca prior to the arranged marriage situation. He's very enraptured by her because she is a ballerina and he goes to her performances. And so when this opportunity comes up, he's like, yeah, I guess me. Oh yeah, I guess I have to. I have to marry her, right? Even though there's a pretty significant age gap, because Mikhail was really interested in her to begin with, he's very respectful from the beginning. There is a violent incident and he immediately protects not only her, but also her sister. The thing that I like is they're both dealing with different disabilities. So Mikhail has like some scarring that goes through his eye and makes it difficult for him to see. Bianca, she can't speak. It sounds like there's some sort of accident, and I like that although Bianca cannot talk, she doesn't take crap from people, or even just like dancers in general in books tend to be these very meek people, but she's got spunk. This once again is very domestic. It's mostly vignettes of them like around the house, getting to know each other. One big thing, Mikhail actually no sign, and he hasn't told her that yet. So I was like, little butthole. That's where things are at the moment. I will chat with you soon.
Hi, so I just got out of the shower because I just got done working out. Okay, I swear my hair is wet. That's why it looks weird. And I'm very intentionally giving you bad lighting so you can't see my face. Very tired. It's the end of the workday. I was going to give you a quick update. I'm about 70% in now to Broken Whispers. So the relationship has really like come together and they're in a good spot now. But I'm just getting like a touch bored. We got one really cool mafia scene that Bianca was also involved in. I was like, ooh, here we go, more mafia stuff. And then it went back to domestic stuff. And I feel like the last couple of scenes have been kind of repetitive where they're just proving how into each other they are to the people around them. I don't mind that, but it's a lot of the same kinds of scenes back to back where I'm just kind of like, all right, you showed me that there's some more mafia action that we could potentially have, and I would like to have more of that, please. Outside of that, there is more communication happening because Mikhail has finally revealed that he knows sign. We've known that for a long time, but Bianca didn't. I kind of feel like that point got glossed over. She did not take him to task for that nearly as much as I wanted her to. I'm a little bored. I'm a little sad that I'm bored, but I'm at the 70% mark, so I'm like, usually something kind of crazy happens in terms of like the third act. I'm hoping that I'm just like on just the other side of that, and that's why I'm feeling like the book's a little stagnant. I will update you at the end of the book. See you in a bit.
Hello, it is I. I have finished Broken Whispers, and what can I say? Other than the boringness and repetition did not improve. We kept getting scenes that were literally just them going somewhere, someone either being like, you seem in love, or I don't think you're actually in love, and then them doing the do in the nearby area. So like at grandma's birthday, grandma's sitting there like, I don't know, you two seem very in love. And then they were like, yeah, we are, woo! woo. And then they like did it in the car. They did the same thing with going to the Pacon's house. I'm just kind of like, okay, I need the scenes to progress. There needs to be some progression of the language or the spice or the relationship or the passion or just something to kind of drive it forward. But everything was pretty much the same. A lot of the language used was the same. A lot of the emotions were very similar. So it didn't feel like a progression. It felt more like I was on a hamster wheel and I was like, okay. So I almost wish this had been a novella because if we had cut out a bunch of those scenes, we probably would have had about 150 pages. That was just kind of frustrating because I was really hoping that, like maybe the mafia plot line would kind of take off, but that culminated into a not very satisfying conclusion. It just like, it wasn't a very good reveal where it was like, that was like worth the build up having that as a separate plot line. We were so isolated with the two characters that pretty much any meaningful relationship disappeared towards the end of the book. Straight up family members just are gone. They're just no longer part of the storyline because they served their purpose and now we're just done with them. I really thought that this was going to be quite similar to Sweet Temptation by Cora Riley, at least initially. Very much about the family life, the mafia just happens to be his job and the rules that they live by. But I think that had a little bit more going on because there was a lot more interaction with kids. There was a mafia plotline that paid off. I think that this one just lost its steam about halfway through. And then it did one of my least favorite things with dancer books. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, there always seems to be one scene like this where the dancer, they can't figure out how to express their feelings for their partner. So they decide to do a dance. Okay, like that's corny. I don't know that I like vibe with that personally, but like fine. My problem with this one was that it was so horny and so corny that it belongs on farmersonly.com. She does it without her underpants and she dances to All of Me by John Legend. The lyrics are just like a little bit too on the nose. I went from just kind of like being bored to then being mad because that was like the last scene. That was supposed to be like the final, like they're so in love moment. I was like, that's some Hallmark stuff right there. Well, maybe it's more HBO. I don't really know. Choices were made and I did not like those choices. Where I'm left with this. I'm giving this 3 stars, which just makes me so sad. I really thought that this was going to be like at least a 4-star book. I thought maybe this would even be a 5-star book. But alas, here we are. And to make things worse, I started the book Control Me by Michelle Hurd. It's not going much better. I'm starting to notice some issues with the writing already. So if I come back with a completely different book after this, we're not going to say anything. We're going to wish me well. I think I might take a day off, get some distance, and see if I come in with a new perspective. We'll update you soon. Wish me well. It's a rough time out here, folks. Hi, I'm back again. So I did decide to continue on with the Michelle Hurd book, Control Me. I took a day off of this vlog and just read some other stuff and came back to it. And I think my frustration was kind of bleeding into this book. So I'm happy to report that I'm not as frustrated with the book. There are still a few things where I'm kind of like, I'm not sure how I'm liking that, but I think it's going to leave room for a decent character arc. What we have going on is we have Abby. She would like to be a painter, but that's not really an option for her. I can't really figure out what the connection is, but her dad seems to be some sort of criminal or mafia adjacent type person. He has a few hits out on him, so he has sent Abby to get some training so that she knows how to protect herself. He also wants her to take over the family business, and he sends her to what's called a monarch, which is sort of like a kingmakers. It's basically, if you can pay the money, then you can attend this academy, and it's meant for like criminals and like mafia children to learn skills that they will need. What was kind of bugging me initially was that Abby comes in and she's like not taking it seriously. She's acting pretty immature. She's 21. Nikolai is one of the instructors, so it's a little bit of student teacher, and she starts flirting with him and is real corny. Like she straight up hits on him with like a dad joke. I didn't catch it when I was reading it the first time, but everyone around her is like, oh girl, no. I thought initially, I was like, oh no, this book really thinks it's being cute. And I was like, oh, but it's not cute. It's more aware than I was realizing, I think, because I was just frustrated. I'm here to right my wrongs. Anyway, so she's like not taking it seriously. She's showing up late to class. She's coming in with no skills. And Nikolai is just like, are you kidding me? Like your dad's setting you up for failure. Your family has a head out on them. Like you need to take this seriously. And she's just like flirting with him. And he's like, screw it. I'm going all in. And he gets really aggressive with her just to kind of break her down. And she is resistant at first, but she's starting to kind of acquiesce. I'm about 10% in. So I'm hoping that this is actually setting up like a really good character arc for her. That's where I'm at the moment. I am going to be continuing on with this book, and it is giving me Kingmakers vibes by Sophie Lark. So like I'm hoping that this series works out because I love that series so much. So that's all I had to update you on. See you soon. Hi, I'm maybe 25% in. I was just going to update you quick before workout. I was starting to get on board a little bit with these two. She's 21 years old, and I'm like, if you were carbon based when I was 21 years old and mildly attractive, I'm like, yeah, I'd flirt with you. So I'm kind of like, I get it from her perspective. He's 39 though. So I was like, I'm having a little bit harder time understanding why he's interested in her other than physical and she's flirting with him. And I was like, well, I guess it's kind of like when you tell someone not to think about pink elephants, they're going to think about pink elephants. And if he feels like she's the forbidden fruit, then, he's going to think about wanting to be with her more frequently. And so I was like, well, that's probably explaining some of it. Now I'm about like 25% in, and we've already gotten a spicy scene. And I was just kind of like, why? I don't feel like I really even know the characters that well, let alone understand their connection, especially because Nikolai kept saying this is a one-time thing, but then was like making deep, meaningful eye contact during, and he called her Malishka, which is a term of endearment. I'm like, okay, but if it's a one-time thing, why are you acting all sweet and intimate? That's a little bit odd. Kind of back to being frustrated. I don't know. There's part of me that's like, oh, maybe I made the wrong choice. I should have DNF'd and found a different book. Guys, I'm starting to lose my energy on this vlog just because I just want to find like a good one. Because it's not like bad. I don't know. It just felt like someone was like, let's use the mafia to make it forbidden. And everyone likes spicy scenes now in their romances. So we'll just throw them in. We're already getting one at 25% in. I'm like, that's a little too early, I think. Maybe that's personal preference. I want to feel their connection. I want there to be so much tension that I'm screaming at them. I'm doing sprints with Nikki today, so I'm hoping to get a good chunk read. Hi, Kevin. All right, chat soon. Hi. So I'm just getting ready to do sprints over at Nikki and Bookland's channel. So I thought I would update you because I have made the decision to DNF this book. I can't do it anymore. I got done working out and I read one more scene and I took my Kindle and I chucked it across the couch and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I want to be really, whoa, mascara is doing some things. So I want to be really clear before I start talking about this that I am not trying to feed into toxic masculinity standards that men can't talk about their feelings. However, I do want to call out that there's a massive inconsistency between the way this character is talked about and supposed to be portrayed and how he actually acts. And it's really bugging me. It's what sent me over the edge. Okay, so I mentioned massive age gap, right? 21-year-old and a 39-year-old. They're from rival mafias. I just find it a little like weird that he is portrayed as this like big tough guy. He's from a mafia family. So they don't seem like they would have a lot of big feelings that they'd be talking about. And yet he had a heart to heart with like his dad and his mom. And they had no issue with the fact that there's a massive age gap. They had zero issues with the fact that she is from a rival mafia group. I'm like, what? Like the whole thing with these like groups is that they are loyal to their group over all else. Like that's the freaking point. And so why are they encouraging this relationship? And they're like, age is just a number. I'm like, yeah, that's true, but like these are not the characters that would say that. On top of that, after his little like, oh, Malishka that he just did during the Pound Town scene, he just called his buddy and it's like, I really care about her. I really care about her a lot. What? You're this big bad mafia. What are you talking about? Why are you talking to your other big bad mafia friend about your feelings? Again, I don't want to insinuate that men can't talk about their feelings or anything of that sort. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is this character is supposed to be this big, scary mafia guy. I don't think he's talking about his feelings to his bestie. That doesn't ring true for this character. It makes me crazy. I was like, are you effing kidding me? And I took my Kindle and I just chucked it across the couch because I was just like, are you serious right now? This makes no sense. I will not be continuing on. I am unwronging the right I tried to make earlier. I don't know. I'm DNFing this book. Oh, also another weird thing. For a place that's like a mafia school, there is no time spent on any of the atmosphere. There's zero atmosphere to this book. It's pretty much just like interactions that the main main gal, I don't even care what her name is, that she's having. But it's like weird because like some of the stuff is happening off page and then she has to like catch us up. But then also we're not getting any other interactions. Like we have the Yakuza going on. We have so many people here that we could be interacting with. We could be talking about how she's settling in. There's, you know, interactions in the lunchroom or other classes, and we have nothing. I feel like I'm just kind of like floating around like weirdly. Like I don't have anything grounding me to what's going on in this book or where I'm located or even who else is around. Like I feel like the lens of this book is so narrowed in to just like these like handful of like interactions. That's me complaining to let you know I'm gonna DNF this book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film a wrap up later. Been able to like process my thoughts a little bit more and read something else. I've just been complaining this whole vlog and I don't like that. It feels gross. But I also just want to like, what can I learn from this? Like, I didn't have a great experience. I know I still love Mafia Romances, but I didn't pick good ones. So I want to try and figure out what happened. Like, what can I take away about my taste from this? I need to do some more processing. I need to think about this a little bit longer. I'll maybe update you tomorrow because I really just need some time to vibe with this for a bit. See you soon. Hi, I've taken a break. I've done some processing and I am back to inform you from my living room floor that I still love Mafia books, but this batch was just not for me. And that's okay. I think that's part of the reading experience sometimes is that like the synopsis of books will sound so good and then they're just not to your personal taste. And I think that's really what happened here. A couple of things that I noticed or patterns that I picked up on as I've kind of been editing some of this footage. One, the consistency between other vlogs. If there's character inconsistencies, that's a surefire way to like just make me annoyed because I feel like then I'm being told how I'm supposed to think about a character and how I'm supposed to perceive them. They act contrary to that, then I'm just like, I'm so confused. And that is like a quick way to frustrate me. The other thing, although I really do like spice in my books, I care more about the relationship building and the character development because then the payoff of the spice is so much better. If I'm not invested in their journey, I don't really care. Another thing that I noticed as well, I got bored with the first two books with Hitman and with Broken Whispers. And part of that came down to I needed more action from the mafia aspect of things. I think this batch was particularly unfocused on the mafia. I do like those domestic aspects, but can't be the entire focus. Because even with Sweet Temptation by Cora Riley, that ended up escalating at the end with a really solid mafia plotline. I need something to break up those intimate domestic moments in order for those to have more meaning. And that's kind of where I'm left. I think this vlog, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed, just like your mother in high school, because I don't hate any of these books. They're just not my vibe, they're not my energy, and that's okay. I can see why other people would like these books. You might like one of these books, and I would understand why. That's where I'm left with things. Ooh, this lighting has gotten so weird in the short amount of time that I've been here. Oh, that's the other thing. I will be returning that mic. I don't like the audio quality. I'm sorry if it bugs you in this video. It will not be making a reappearance. Thank you so much for being here. Comment below and let me know if there's any mafia books that you think I would like. I will want more sexual tension and I want some more mafia action, but I still need the lovin', so I need a balance of both. Don't forget to like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you want more content from me. Thank you to everyone who has come over here from Nikki and Bookland and my live stream. Welcome, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.